But when you see parts of the government with mixed signals, mixed informations, you see the leader of the Senator Kangata and the letter. That was a lot of confusion to government business in the Senate, because now Kangata is saying BBI should not, the ground is hostile towards BBI, and the president is also saying that that is the agenda. It's a constitutional moment for the country to make some laws to change the narrative. So for me, I see one, a dysfunctional government. Two, I see a president that has lost his way, as Lamek said. So that we need to see a president that shows unity, shows maturity in temperament and emotional intelligence in dealing with sensitive matters, that touch on people's lives.
But then, why do you support that he should apologize, and why should he apologize in regards to this? Because he has only indicated his position, which is also a fact, that he is in charge. Isn't that a fact?
Yes, it is a fact that he's in charge.
Do you need to apologize for facts?
No, I've not concurred with Lamek on the apology. I haven't.
Okay.
Because you can't apologize for something that you are. He's the president. He shouldn't be apologizing that he is reinforcing the narrative that he is the president and is in charge. But for me, the statement that he made that day, the temperament, you could see the anger when he was speaking. It means there was parts of his government that were disagreeing with his agenda, and he was feeling that it was like somehow internal sabotage. So for him, he felt like this is a good platform for him to rebut, because he's been quiet.
You've been saying, you don't say that he's...
Yeah, I want to explain why he must apologize.
Apologize for fact.
When Rapudo says the president does not show leadership, when the president shows temperament in public, when he should be showing confidence to his followers is the whole country, 48 million of us, that calls for apology, because he is there because of Kenyans. We are not there for him. He's there for us. So when he shows that he's not in charge, and yet he claims that he's in charge, it's just a claim. You can see he's not in charge. Jubilee itself is not functional. His deputy president is reading from a different script. His whole battalion, MPs, senators, and majority of the governors are reading from the different script. Does that not show that he's not in charge?
And which puts me the question, should he crack the whip? Especially on those who are considered to be rebels, or those who are considered to be against him? Or is it that, are we seeing a picture where political leaders see him as a coward? Rapudo?
I absolutely agree. The president should crack the whip. He's the leader first of the Jubilee Party.
I remember someone like Country Secretary General Francis Atwoli and other members are telling him to crack the whip, especially on those who are rebels in his party, considering that the issues raised by Senator Kangata about the BBI not actually being accepted in the rift. Could this also be an issue there, cracking the whip? Absolutely,
I agree. The president needs to crack the whip as a Jubilee Party leader. There are internal mechanisms within their constitution where somebody is ascribing to different political ideology of a different party. You're supposed to deal with them. So they should go through the disciplinary measures or procedures, and then they deal with them. So for me, I'm thinking for a government to function, it has to come from a political party. So when the political party in itself first is dysfunctional, then it now transcends into the government itself. So one, if the president wants to fix the issue, first he needs to fix his house. And then now two, the errant members within the Jubilee Party. One, they can do, what the president can do is call for a caucus, for a Jubilee caucus. And then now they can be able to say, what are the issues, what are the issues that we need to address, that are disintegrating the party from within. Then if they cannot find consensus from them, then they should give these errant members an opportunity to either ship out or ship in. That is it. That is how politics is supposed to be done in political parties. But you cannot have a situation where, as an agenda of the state is being, derailed by the same people that are within the same political party. So for me, I absolutely agree. The president needs to crack the whip.
Yes, Aguko, I think we need to handle first things first. You are cracking a whip as who?
He is the president and the party leader
Yes,
of Jubilee Party.
the party leader. Does he have the majority of the party members on his side? That's a question we need to ask ourselves. Because if you look at the formation of the Jubilee Party currently, the deputy president enjoys majority of the members' support.
Have you taken the statistics? You know the numbers?
Generally, seeing the number
From
of
your
MPs.
overview.
Yeah, from my overview, the deputy president enjoys the massive support within the party.
Which may not be a fact.
Which may not be a fact. Like Kangara said, it's not scientific.
Meaning that he has also the ability to crack the whip.
Yes, but you can crack the whip when, one, you have a working party. Remember, we don't have any party position on anything so far. It's just a few guys collecting themselves, calling for press and saying, we as Jubilee, as who? A party is not a secretary general alone. A party is not a party leader. A party is party members, including the members of parliament, the senators, the governors, and party members.
But the secretary general, the leaders of a political party, speak on behalf of the party.
Yes, after consensus has been reached. You cannot say I'm speaking on behalf of the party, yet the party has not talked. We give you what you're going to tell the media, not to just decide, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. So there's no whip to crack there. In fact, in a matter of fact, the party leader should resign because he has been propagating the ideologies of a different party. Remember in the Msambweni by-election, he supported a candidate from ODM. So on that matter alone,
in the spirit of the
handshake,
in the spirit of the handshake,
do we have a constitution guiding that?
In the spirit of the handshake,
there's no constitution or any directive in the party saying there is something called a handshake. We have a party called Jubilee. We have a party called ODM.
In the same way we had people from ODM supporting candidates from a different party at the Kibera by-elections.
Kibera was a Jubilee. It was an ODM zone, right? So the respective party organs must take action on those members. That's my position.
In fact, he went even deeper and said the president should resign. Resign as what?
As a party leader. And once you are partyless, you don't have any mandate to lead a country.
For me, I let me jump in kindly.
Yes.
I'm a believer in facts, not semantics. And sometimes when you're discussing politics, it becomes easier for you to now muddy the water and you now start having semantics and rhetorics. One, the president did not officially campaign for the ODM candidate. There is no official line of communication from the president that said that the president endorsed the Msambweni.
But politics is a matter of perception.
No. Right? Let's not talk about semantics here. Let us talk about facts, because we are talking about the office of the presidency.
Yes.
And then now two.
Will you lead people in perception?
No, we're talking about politics. And
but you
perception,
said
perception plays a critical role in politics.
And in leadership.
Just a simple photo with the president works miracles.
And then now you cut me short a bit. Yes. And then now two, when he said the president does not command the majority of support from within his political party, we can remember just not far back when the president literally cracked the whip, and Murkomen was removed from the office, and the Baringo senator, the West Pokot senator was put in charge, and then also saw Kangate coming in. And replacing the other guy, and also saw Kimunya coming in, replacing Adan Duale. So the president in himself has the numbers. For me, that you have to.
He has the numbers.
He has the numbers because now, if you would be able to effect those changes, then what will prevent him to effect those changes now? But what has changed? If Lamek should tell us what has changed from that time to now, because at the end of the day, one thing that people say, I remember Sudi said that when the president summoned them as the Jubilee MPs to State House, he chided them and he talked down upon them and all that, and they had to agree with whatever the president said and agreed with the changes. So if they actually were genuine that they were supporting the deputy because the deputy was of a different political inclination or opinion on how Jubilee things should be run, then they should have made their own dissenting voices there and stand and say, as we are not going to support these changes, we are going to stand our ground and we are not going to allow you to crack the whip within the Jubilee.
But if he has the numbers, what prevents him from cracking the whip now?
That is exactly what I said. I agree with you that the president needs to crack the whip.
He needs
now.
to crack. But why hasn't he till now? To the point that he says that people should not look at him as a coward. He mentioned when a lion has been rained on, don't confuse it for a cat.
If you noticed last week after the Kangata's letter, the Tanga group members, Oscar Sudi and the Tarakaniti governor, Senator Kisiki Kindure, they said they are not going to support, even more comments, they said they are not going to support any replacement of Kangata, which means the president is already having those internal discussions with his team that they want Kangata to be removed from the office. And Murkomen and the team are saying we are not going to allow, we are going to object to that particular. So the president is in motion. I'm going to predict that within the month, Kangata probably will be gone, and somebody else will come and fill that position. And saying all this all too well, that I'm not supporting Jubilee Party. Somebody might actually think that I'm supporting Jubilee Party. I'm not supporting Jubilee Party. I'm invited to discuss into matters that are not mine.
Now, joining us also in this conversation, I'm joined by Christine Kendi, joining me. Karibu sana Christine. Kendi. Pole sana, we were supposed to have you earlier, but we are aware that maybe BBI train ilikuacha kidogo ikabidi tufuate. Karibu sana. Following, you've heard what our panelists are saying. Should the president crack the whip on the rebels or those who are considered to be against the BBI and the stand of Jubilee Party in regards to the Building Bridges initiative, as he said that some see him as a coward just because he is silent?
I will translate the silence for
cowardice.
I would actually translate it for democracy. That what do we mean by cracking the whip? Because people are opposing him or people are speaking against his government. The president is very democratic and he allows people to express their democratic rights. That does not mean that he's weak. And when we say that he's supposed to crack the whip, why does the president need to silence the noise within Jubilee? As long as they're not interfering with his work and his delivery, I think you're on the right track.
But
as he said, that if he wanted to crack the whip, we saw the Jubilee purge, where he dethroned people. And the DP had been telling us that he has the numbers until that time when the purge came and we realized that he did not have the numbers. That is why the DP is very careful. Today he opposes the president, but when he goes to a church in Kayole, he says that tunaleta title deeds, tunakuja kunini miradi, that he will not openly oppose the president because he does not want that very clear line that he's opposing the president.
Now let me quote the NARC Kenya leader, Martha Karua. She said, and I quote, if you propose BBI, then there would be people who will oppose it like Martha. It is not right to label people as allies of certain people when they oppose an issue. And this is what I would like to get your take. Let me come to you, Lamek. What do you think about this branding of, we are saying Ruto allies, Uhuru allies, Raila allies? Branding of people, does it have the effect on cheapening the discussion, or is that the right way, that anyone who opposes BBI is an ally to this person, and anyone who supports the BBI is an ally to this other person?
I think Mother Karo was very spot on, because over the last few months there have been discussions on who is in this country in matters pertaining to BBI. And I agree with that. Because BBI, at the age of 2021, Kenyans are very bright. They can read for themselves and decide what's good for them and what's not good for them. A majority of people I've interacted with from different political sides, mostly youth, don't support the BBI. But does not, including my good panelist here, does not support BBI but does not support Ruto at the same time. So it's wrong to say once you oppose the BBI, you are automatically a Ruto supporter.
Do you support or oppose the BBI?
Personally, I oppose the BBI.
You oppose the BBI?
Yes.
And do you support Ruto?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Just a coincidence.
Coincidentally.
Yes.
But does that cheapen the whole conversation?
Absolutely. Because it then changes the narrative from what we are talking about BBI to another narrative which is far away in 2022. Because the current issue now is how to make sure that the BBI does not sail through, because it's not very necessary at the current moment. We have so many issues to deal with: Corona, the economic downfall that is a consequence of Corona, and bringing BBI now it's a waste of time. So we should not beg the support or the opposition to the BBI, to the presidential candidate in an election that is almost 2 years from today. I support Mother Karua.
So this whole BBI discussion is premature or ought not to be there because it takes us to politics of 2022.
Yes.
Rapuda.
I agree with Lame completely, and I find that narrative, that segmentation and putting people in boxes. Ideologically, if you're not for this person, you're this way. If you're not for this person, you're this way. I find it problematic. It actually dilutes the discourse, because now it takes away the content of what people need to actually discuss. Because for me, the reasons why I'm opposing BBI are very clear. The content, I'm not agreeing with the content. It's not representative of what you want. The government, that they are the kind of leadership that they want to bring, is not going to actually fix those problems that they say that it's going to fix. Cohesion and bringing everybody together. Malfeasance in governance and all those sorts of things. Those are things that can be, solved even within the current system, and the current constitution provides, a perfect avenue and perfect laws and guidelines on how we can be able to do that. So for me, I oppose BBI, and I don't ascribe to Ruto's ideology of the hustler movement. I'm not saying that I cannot support Ruto for 2022. It's only that he hasn't convinced me yet. Because for me, the hustler narrative is not good enough. You need to tell us.
The hustler narrative isn't good enough.
It's not good enough.
The BBI is also not good enough.
It's not good enough. For me personally, the reason why I'm saying the hustler narrative is not good enough for me is, one, when Ruto rebutted the president yesterday, he said, I voted for the president not because he's a Kikuyu, but because of the agenda that they wanted to bring to the country.
Yes.
The transformational agenda. My question would be to William, is 8 years down the line, they have failed the country. We have seen that evidence that the country has been mismanaged for 7 years. So if he's saying that now he wants to take over in 2022, what will he do differently that he hasn't been able to accomplish today?
While in office as the DP?
Yeah, as the deputy president. So the question should be to the DP's people and his handlers and his strategists. The DP should sell us his agenda. He should tell us that if I'm the president, from 2022, this is the kind of Kenya that you guys are going to have.
But he has done that.
He hasn't done that. For me, he hasn't done that. We haven't seen the deputy president's agenda. My panelists can actually tell us if they've heard the DP saying that for me in agriculture, this is what I'm going to do. In economics, this is the economic model that I'm going to adopt.
I believe you know the theory behind this whole wheelbarrow issue. Is it that because of job creation?
Yeah.
Thereby speaking his agenda?
No. My problem with that narrative is this. When we really simplify a very complex issue of job creation, when you want to create jobs, the role of the government is to create an enabling environment where opportunities can be created. But you cannot say the government in itself. Like for example, I'll give you an example. Nigerian government. The biggest employer in Nigeria is the film industry. It's not the government itself. So the government should be able to create an enabling environment, ease of doing business. Not only the parameters of the World Bank, but actually when you're going to register a business, how easy is it to you? If a young person, they're saying that young people can be able to access capital, how practical is that? What are the success stories that you see?
Honorable Raila Odinga said that the issue, and I quote, the issue of wheelbarrow cannot bring change to this country. Let us come out as Kenyans to build a united Kenya. This is what Uhuru and myself stand for. End of quote. Kendi.
Ram, I am dying to speak. First of all, I would like to... I agree partly with what Lamek said, that anyone opposing BBI does not support, and not everyone who's opposing BBI supports Deputy President. I personally support BBI. First of all, this is 2021. 2021, an year before the general election in 2022. This is a year when we are renewing the agenda of hustler versus dynasty kind of campaign. A very dangerous campaign, because now we have divided the country into hustlers and dynasties without a definition of who a hustler is. Where you sit, you may think you are a hustler. But to another person, when you go out there, you are in a suit. That person sees you as a dynasty. When you are in a car, in a Toyota 100, 110, you are a dynasty to the border guy operating there. So when we advance such a campaign, it is very dangerous for this country. I do not understand anyone who says that it's too early for BBI, because this is 2021. We are a country that goes into cyclic violence every 5 years.
Because constitutional change is a process, and this is the time to change the constitution.
Not the time to change the constitution, just that it's not changing the constitution. Actually. It's amendments to parts of the constitutions. The only reason you might go into a referendum is because there are parts of the constitution that cannot be amended without a referendum. So when we start saying that 2021, this is January 2021, a country that started campaigning immediately after the 2017 elections, when we say that it is too early for us to speak about BPI, for us to speak about how we're going to address the issue of post-election violence. When are we going to address the post-election violence? In 2023 March, when we're advancing for another handshake.
Aguko, maybe I can ask my good friend Kendi, how does the BBI intend to address the challenge of post-election violence? Exact.
Yeah, but you see, that's the other problem that we have in this country. Everyone who's opposing BBI does not give a solution. There are people who came and said, this is country, this is Kenya. America has its own problem. We saw what was happening in America. When you don't address these things, this is what happens. When we sit and bury our heads in the sand and forget that we have 42 tribes in Kenya. Among the 42 tribes, whether we like it or not, we have the majority tribes in Kenya. The tribe with the majority of the population. The troublemakers in the country. The people, when they feel underrepresented, they will cause and say, kura zote zilikuwa zetu. This is, you know what BBI calls it? It's a mongrel. That aka ni kaumbwa ketu ambako, it's not the German Shepherd and the Chihuahuas. This is a mongrel, the Kenya, that the problems facing America are not the same problems facing Kenya. Our problems are very tribal.
Now,
sorry, I'm still going to address to explain it to him. That when we make sure that it is inclusive, that right now when you look at the cabinet, in 2013 when you looked at the cabinet, it had Kikuyus and Kalenjins. That's a conversation that we need to have. That right in 2022, we cannot be looking at the cabinet and you're looking at it, the president is Kikuyu, the deputy is Kalenjin, the cabinet are Kikuyus and Kalenjins. When we have what we're calling the expanded executive, which is not even expanded, it's what we have as majority National Assembly leader, who will become a deputy prime minister. The prime minister will also be a minister, will also be a member of parliament.
So the BBI doesn't address inclusivity?
It does address inclusivity. When we create the position of the opposition, you see, we were very, not optimistic, but we refuse to accept reality. That when a person with 4 million votes is completely out of government, what do you expect to happen to this person? This person is going to fight for space. Exactly. When you have the position of the opposition leader, which is a position that's being brought back by BBI, it takes care of that vacuum where, yes, Okushinda for election, but you still have your functions complete with your shadow cabinet, that you do not go to what Tangatanga is doing right now. The government is not doing. You're also tasked with giving solutions to the country. That before the Minister of Finance releases the budget, the shadow cabinet from the opposition releases its budget, then now we can start the opposition from there. That shadow cabinet walitupatia unga at this price, the government is giving us unga at this other price.
Now, I know you haven't joined, you have something to say, but I want us to take a short break. When we're back, I'll be coming back to you, and Rapuda, I also know you had something to say in regards to this. Tell us what you think about this conversation. The hashtag is Why in the Morning at Ramaguko at Y254 channel. Let's take a short break. After this, we are back with more. Remember, tribalism versus ideologies. Where should we base our discussion? Let's take this break. We'll be back in a bit.